It was supposed to be a casual evening, just a friendly get-together at one of my wife's co-workers' houses. I wasn't particularly excited about it, but my wife, Emma, insisted. She said it would be fun, that I needed to get out more, and that her friends would love me. I agreed, mostly for her sake. We arrived around 7. The place was buzzing with laughter, clinking glasses, and loud music. Emma looked stunning in a sleek black dress that turned heads the moment we walked in. I felt proud to be by her side. For a while, things went smoothly. I chatted with a few people, grabbed a drink, and tried to blend in. But then he showed up, Daniel. Daniel was one of Emma's old friends from college. I'd heard about him before. The funny, outgoing guy she used to hang out with all the time. When he walked over, I could see the way Emma's face lit up. They hugged for a little longer than I liked, and then he turned to me, his grin smug, his eyes assessing. "So, this is the famous husband," he said, extending a hand. His tone was playful but sharp, the kind that hides an insult in a smile. I shook his hand and nodded politely. "Yep, that's me," I replied. He laughed. "Emma always said you were the quiet type." She wasn't kidding. "You must be the calm one that balances her out." I gave a small smile, trying to stay polite. "Something like that." As the evening went on, Daniel seemed to make it his mission to make little digs at me. Every time I spoke, he cut in with a joke. Every time I stood quietly, he pointed out, turning it into entertainment for everyone around. "Careful, guys," he said once. "If you talked aloud, you might scare Emma's husband." Everyone laughed. Emma smiled awkwardly, clearly uncomfortable, but not saying anything. I felt my jaw tighten. I dealt with guys like him before, the ones who mistake kindness for weakness, who push boundaries just to see how far they can go. Then came the moment that crossed the line. We were all standing near the bar, and Daniel started talking about how Emma used to be wild back in college. All the parties, the late nights, the dares. Then he turned to me with that same smirk. "Man, I don't know how you tamed her," he said. "She used to be unstoppable. Guess you must have bored her into calmness." How the laughter around us was instant. Even Emma's eyes widened. She reached out and said, "Daniel, that's enough." But he just chuckled and raised his glass like it was all harmless fun. I'd had enough. I turned to him, smiling calmly. "You know, Daniel," I said, my tone steady, "I can see why Emma used to hang out with you. You've got the confidence of a man who's never had to grow up." The group went silent. Daniel blinked, his grin faltering. I continued, still calm. "You seem like the kind of guy who lives for attention, cracks jokes to cover insecurity. But here's the thing. Real men don't need to humiliate others to feel seen. They earn respect by giving it." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't swear. I just looked him in the eye, unflinching. The silence in the room was heavy. Then I took a sip of my drink and added, "So next time you want to make someone look small, maybe ask yourself why you need to first." The effect was immediate. A few people shifted uncomfortably. Someone coughed. Daniel's face turned red, and he muttered something about just joking before walking off. Emma was staring at me, not angry, not embarrassed, but stunned. Her eyes softened as if she was seeing me differently, really seeing me. Later, after the party had calmed down and we were driving home, she reached over and touched my hand. "I didn't expect you to say that," she said quietly. "You were calm, but powerful. I've never seen you like that." I smiled faintly. There's a difference between being quiet and being weak. He just needed to learn it. She looked out the window for a moment, then back at me with a small, proud smile. "You handled it perfectly." "Thank you." That night, as we lay in bed, she leaned her head on my chest and whispered, "I was embarrassed at how he talked to you and how I didn't stop him sooner. But you did it with dignity." I kissed the top of her head and said, "Sometimes silence isn't the answer, but neither is shouting. You just have to choose the right words and the right moment." From that day on, Daniel kept his distance. He didn't make jokes when I was around. In fact, I noticed he seemed a little uneasy whenever our paths crossed again. As for Emma, something changed between us that night. It wasn't just about respect. It was about understanding. She realized that beneath my quietness was a strength that didn't need to prove itself. And I realized that sometimes a single sentence can silence a room better than any argument ever.